Welcome back, trainers. So we're going to be taking a look at the results after I did 12 to 13 hours of grinding yesterday. I don't know what came over me, but I felt like before. I just wanted to grind. Not necessarily because I like Sentret or, Gligar's shiny, absolutely fantastic, and I do really want it, as well as the Sentret, new shinies to be added to your collection. But I'm in a bit of a competition with somebody here, Scarlet, to see if we can get to 200,000 catches. Well, the first one to get there. And I just felt like going crazy. And I'm grinding. No shiny event Pokemon quite yet. But we're going to take a look at a few other things. I'll have some images here on the side of what I did. I hatched a few unknown, as well as a shiny. I did catch a shiny. And we're going to take a look at that. As a matter of fact, it's actually really good IVs. So we're going to discuss what I'm seeing, the patterns, the type of Pokemon that are spawning after the event has begun here. So if we go down, see, I didn't delete the grind Pokemon this morning because I wanted you to see exactly what was going on here. So there is an unknown right there, the L, and then I did hatch 2 U's as well. So this Shuckle here, I did go plus this, and let's go ahead and take a look at the IVs. It's pretty darn good. That's amazing. Is it something I would want to max out? I considered it for a moment just to be a troll and drop it in gyms because it is shiny. The IVs are great, but it's kind of a waste to start us, so I'll think about that there. And then let's just go ahead and look up unknowns. Recent. And all those are from Chicago because I do not chase those and I do not have any good luck with those. And I was able to get this lucky one here in Chicago, actually. This was a while back. Let's go ahead and take a look at those IDs. The exclamation point. So there we go. So if you're unaware, you will be able to hatch unknowns out of 10-kilometer eggs. And they will be spilling out ultra. So you do have a chance to get one of those letters there. So this is going to be the L. And then I do have 2 U's. So the IVs on these, if it really matters, if it's not 100, then it doesn't really matter. There you go. Pretty good. I was happy to hatch those. Better than nothing. I was going through incubators like crazy because the incubator effectiveness is actually ×2. So you will be able to hatch those eggs at an extreme rate. As you can see here, the 10 kilometers are only going to be 3.3 in a super incubator. And here's a little tip for you. Use your free incubator on the 2-kilometer eggs, obviously. And if you have any extra other 2-kilometer eggs, if you so choose to put them in the super incubators, I wouldn't really recommend that. Just go ahead and put them in your regular incubators if you do have those around, seeing that it's not really going to take much time. And if you put it in a super incubator, it's going to cut it down a bit, but you're better off spending those on your 7 kilometers, 5 kilometers, and 10-kilometer eggs, which I highly recommend you just spin stops if you're looking for those unknowns in 10-kilometer eggs. Now, how often are the 10-kilometer eggs dropping out of the gym Pokestops and the regular Pokestops? Honestly, I'm getting them quite frequently, so I'm not too sure about your odds, but mine are pretty good. Now, let's go ahead and go over the Pokemon that I'm seeing spawning in the wild here. Quite a few shiny, odd Pokemon. So you have Swinub, the Sentret, of course, the Gligar, and let's see here, Mischievous is another one. Cyndaquil is spawning, Houndour as well. Makuhitas, I've been hatching those like crazy. Skarmory, I found a nest, as well as I think they're spawning not too often, but they're spawning in the wild currently right now. Yanma's gearing us up for that possible event in Montreal, maybe, I'm not too sure. Murkrow is actually spawning quite frequently as well. And what else do we have here? Dunsparce for some reason. Sunkern is also spawning. And there's a few others. And I did transfer a whole lot of Sentrets because my bag was full. And I wanted to hold on to all of them until I did find my shiny, but unfortunately I would have had to even max out my bag space more if I wanted to continue to do that. I did keep the Gligars, just so you can see here. Haven't transferred any whatsoever yet. So there is my haul on top of what I did this morning here. So this event is decent. Like I said, I'm just highly motivated right now to just go out there and grind as hard as I can, get my catches up, get that Stardust up. I did spend quite a bit of Stardust last night on Ultra League Pokemon, maxed out a Skarmory, and I did power up a few others as well as purchasing secondary moves. Not going to go into the specifics as to which ones, but seeing that the Silph Arena might shift towards doing some sort of deal with Ultra League and Master League, not actually official ranked battles, but you will be able to sign up and have those tournaments going for those specific leagues. I figured it's good time to start investing in those and getting ready for that. Alright, now let's go ahead and go over the current raid bosses. A lot of shiny potential here. For the tier 1 raids, all of these have the shiny potential. You have Sentret, Sunkern, Murkrow, Snubbull, and Houndour. For the tier 2 raids, all of these as well can be shiny. Alolan Exeggutor, Pinecone, Gligar, Sneasel, and Mawile. For the tier 3 raids, Alolan Raichu, which can be shiny. Shuckle as well can be shiny. Piloswine, Skarmory, and then Donphin. For the tier 4 raids, Alolan Marowak, Ursaring, Tyranitar, and Absol. And then for the current legendary raids, we do have the legendary beasts, and those all have the potential to be shiny. And for the current Ditto Disguises, we do have Paris, Venonat, Hoothoot, Ladybug, Yanma, Remoraid, Whismur, and Gulpin. So these did change up because, well, before we did have the Sentret as a Ditto Disguise, but that's a shiny, and you cannot have a shiny potential be also a Ditto Disguise, so these were switched up. I will have a link in the description to LeakDuck for the images that I did use here. And if you are currently unaware, this current Ultra Unlock bonus, Stage 1, is going to be lasting until September 9th, as well as half incubator distance, Johto Pokemon spawning in the wild, and unknowns from 10km eggs, as well as the Sentret and Gligar shinies. And then you have the legendary beast in raids with that shiny potential. Also, you'll be able to hatch those unknowns at a 10km eggs. So I did hatch 2 U's and then the 1 L. Still nothing else for those other ones. Honestly, I'm not really, it's nice hatching the unknowns and all, but I just really want to find those new shinies. As far as doing the legendary beast raids, I actually haven't done one so far whatsoever, because we did have those raid hours in which I was able to get my shinies there. Only one shiny Suicune, but I'm perfectly fine with that. I don't really need to hoard all of those. So there you have it for the current event. Unlock bonus Stage 1. Alright, now let's go ahead and take a look at this Grunt with 3 Snorlax with Lick. Pretty intense here. So usually I would go into these battles that were kind of off, that started with the Snorlax, with my Armor Mewtwo, Confusion, Dynamic Punch, and Future Sight. It usually gets the job done. But this time around, well, it did have a Lick, super effective to my Mewtwo. Despite the massive defense on the Armor Mewtwo, it's still going to be tearing into it quite significantly. So we have to switch up the tactics here. Starting it off with Machamp. Now, the trick is to basically do a bunch of damage with your quick moves. And just watch how the Lick is going to be tearing into my Machamp. To the point where it's almost going to fake me out before I can get to that Dynamic Punch. But if you do switch, it does stop the enemy from attacking. And Lick is, it's neutral damage to Lucario. But with its steel typing, it is going to be able to hold on quite significantly. If the Snorlax did have Zen Headbutt, well, it's going to be a whole other story. You could possibly use the Armor Mewtwo with Confusion and Dynamic Punch, or Dialga. There's several others, Tyranitar as well with Smackdown. You guys had made those suggestions, but Lucario here does fairly well, as you can see, just going through this. The trick is to remember that switch tactic. Every time you do switch, it will stop the opponent from attacking for about 2 seconds, which can be very helpful, considering that 2-second window will be putting on quite a bit of damage. But I'm able to vamp up the Dynamic Punch and just continue to put work onto these. Now, I'm putting this into the clip because I've heard a few people say that they almost don't even bother with the Snorlax because it's just, it's a bit difficult, but at the same time, yes, they can beat it, but they just rather not bother. So I thought I'd just give you guys a few tips here. Give it a shot, do it, it's fun. These more difficult Grunts, I enjoy quite a bit. Honestly, I really wish I can encounter them more often. But yeah, Lucario here, surprised that I was able to actually run through every single Snorlax. Yes, the first Machamp did get in a few counters, but nonetheless, this Lucario is still putting in work. Once that Power Punch gets rolling, you're going to be unstoppable. So able to take it out, and Lucario's still alive, and I have all my Pokemon, which is going to yield me more premium balls. So these little tactics you may want to consider once possibly Giovanni does come in. I don't know how it's actually going to be introduced. Giovanni's going to be amazing when he does enter into Pokemon Go, but what I'm really hoping for is the introduction of 6v6 PvP battles. That would be quite amazing. So we'll see. I have a feeling that hopefully that's exactly what we will be seeing, and how the Grunts do not use their shields. Hopefully Giovanni will, as well as doing that massive damage, making it extremely hard to beat. That, or he's going to be a raid boss, in which you're going to have to try to take down a couple of his Pokemon, maybe something new that we've never seen before as a raid, more than one Pokemon. We'll just have to wait and see. Or could he possibly be, like we went over in my other video, an EX raid boss? I don't think that's actually going to happen, although it would be quite amazing, as well as several Pokemon, not just one, that we're going to have to actually be taken out. So if you enjoyed this video, please give it a big thumbs up, share it with your friends, and I'll be catching you all next time. Take care.